Hey everybody, it's Eric from EPAutos.com, your libertarian car guy. I want to do a little rant this morning that really doesn't have a whole lot to do with cars per se, and it's something that I've spoken about before, but I think it bears repeating. At least it does to me, because I'm constantly frustrated by this. And what is it that I'm frustrated by? Well, just some backstory. I've given up attempting to post things on X, which I refer to as excrement, beyond just links to my articles. When I finish something new or I have a radio interview, I'll copy the link and I'll throw it up on X. But I've given up attempting to communicate with people on X on a one-to-one basis, i.e. Me replying to people's comments or attempting to engage in conversation with people. And the reason for that is because half the time, whatever I post, my replies and so on, just gets disappeared. It gets put in, I like to call it a timeout room. People don't see it. I'm talking to the hand, and X will just randomly sometimes delete people who follow me, and I know this for a fact because some of the people who follow me are friends of mine, and they'll tell me that, hey, I went on X the other day and noticed I wasn't getting things from you in your feed, and I checked and I'm not following you anymore, but I wasn't the one who decided to unsubscribe or whatever the terminology is. So it irritates me because while X has the right to do that, X is a platform that's owned by Elon Musk, and Elon Musk has the right to do whatever he likes with his property, just as I, as the publisher of EP Autos, have the right to do what I like with my property. So, if I were to choose to, for example, not allow people who I just didn't like for whatever reason to post, or I deleted their posts, or I did this oily thing of letting them post but somehow shunted them off to some special place on the site where nobody saw them, that would be my right, because it's my site. I have the right to do that. But here's the distinction that I want to make, and what makes me annoyed with Elon Musk and X. X likes to present itself, and Musk says this often, that it's a free speech platform. Well, no, it isn't. In the first place, literally, no, it isn't, because Elon Musk expects you to pay in order to post or to have visibility, at any rate. And that's not free, is it? I don't charge anything to allow people to comment on my site, whether you like me or not, or like what my articles say or not. I'm not going to charge you to say anything about them. And even if you say you don't like them, I'm not going to shunt them off into the timeout room or delete them. The only time I ever do that is when it's just, personal abuse, somebody calling me names and not adding anything of any merit or substance at all in a substantive way. I'm not talking about, facts that disagree with me or different opinions. I'm talking about, you're a dick, you don't know anything, something like that, because it's a waste of time. At any rate, X does that, and it's a greasy way to run an operation, in my opinion. And it's also it's demoralizing to people who are free speech people and who still believe that they're communicating with other people who believe the same, because they bought into this whole lie that it's a free speech platform, whereas it is not. It's a censorship platform. It's got algorithms and all these other things that limit what you can say, how many people can see it, and so on. So, I stopped posting there, and I did post, and I occasionally repost this, a little note to people who may see it, telling them exactly why, and also that I would be happy to see them over at EPAutos.com. Now, granted, EPAutos is not anywhere near the big site that X is, and so it doesn't have the quote-unquote reach that X has, but at least on my site and other sites that are similar to mine in terms of the fact that they do allow people to post freely, you'll get to post what you like, and you'll get other people will be allowed to see it. And while I have a self-interest in this, obviously, I have another interest, which is that if more people would just stop wasting their time on X and Facebook and Truth Social and all these other controlled outlet social media platforms, whatever the term for them is, and devote their time to helping to build these truly free speech platforms, they'd actually grow. And then you would have reach. You would have a serious alternative to these owned and controlled vehicles for monitoring and and pigeonholing the narrative. I'm using all these terms that they use over there. At any rate, I'd be curious to hear what you have to say, whether you're going to say it on YouTube, which is where I'll post this video, and there'll be a copy of it Rumble, by the way. I do that too. And also over at EP Autos. I hope to see some of you who are listening to this over at EP Autos. It would be really great. Anyway, thanks for listening, and we'll have more for you again soon.